Hello, this is More with Search, and today we're going to find out what is the least Googled US state. Each state is going to face off in a one-on-one battle on Google Trends. The state with fewer searches in 2021 moves on to the next round, and since Battle Royale is cool at the moment, they will also get to eat up their opponent. The least relevant state will take over the country, and their governor will become the new president. So let's kick this off with the two detached states, Alaska and Hawaii. As you can see, Hawaii is overwhelmingly more relevant than Alaska. So yeah, sorry Hawaii. Do not make it past round 1, and you are now part of Alaska. So next we have California and Nevada. Do we even need to do that one? I think it's pretty obvious. Who's gonna win that? California is overwhelmingly more relevant and is out. There we go. That's it for California. Too relevant, carry on. And in their place is Nevada. Next up we have Washington against Oregon. I don't know who's going to win that one. It's a close one, but Washington is slightly more relevant to Oregon, which means they lose. Utah is overwhelmingly less relevant than Arizona. If Utah makes it far in this competition, I'm just going to start calling them Deseret. And we move on to Idaho and Wyoming. Honestly, either of these will be good contenders for the victory. Idaho wins, or Idaho loses. Wyoming is quite a bit less relevant, so they move on. Idaho is not winning this battle royale, fortunately. But we're looking into it. New Mexico, overwhelmingly less relevant. I mean, look at how little action they got this year. So yeah, that's it for Colorado. Now, northern New Mexico, or New Mexico, if you like. Now we have Montana against North Dakota. So if any of you were looking forward to United Dakota in this video, you can forget about it for now at least. Yeah, North Dakota wins this round. Montana put up a good fight, but yeah, you don't get better than the Dakotas when it comes to relevancy. South Dakota against Nebraska. South Dakota moves on, coming in even more southern South Dakota. Now we have Oklahoma against Texas. Oklahoma, overwhelmingly more relevant than Texas. We're in a 6-to-1 ratio. You thought you could leave whenever you want? No, you don't get to exist at all. So we're going to find out who is the true owner of Kansas City. And it is Kansas. Kansas will be back. It's like Kansas City will be back in Kansas after a very long time. Iowa is definitely the winner of that round. Iowa is now on the border with Canada. Next will be Arkansas against Louisiana. Ooh, that is very close. Louisiana does just edge out, though they did have a very nice peak on the border of August and September. With any luck, we'll be back to having French Louisiana in its original form. Okay, we have Wisconsin against Illinois. Wisconsin, quite a bit more relevant, except in some other relevant states like Montana and Wyoming and the Dakotas. Now we have Michigan against Indiana. I really wanted to have Michigan against Ohio, but just didn't work out with the way all the states are positioned. Indiana, quite a bit more relevant than Michigan. Have fun inheriting all the dirty water crises in Flint and other cities like that. Now we have Kentucky against Tennessee. Kentucky, a bit less relevant than in Tennessee. They did have their peaks at certain points in last year. Chicken and country music, 2 C's. With any luck, they'll get Connecticut. Mississippi against Alabama. State that banned Arthur and the state that banned Sesame Street in the 70s. And if you agree with one, you agree with the other. Alabama, quite a bit more relevant than Mississippi, though maybe not for the right reasons. Does the Mississippi River go through Alabama? Not sure. I don't really know much about physical geography because I hate it. Now we got Florida and Georgia. Rest in peace, the Florida-Georgia line. Who will it go to? Georgia, though they did peak early on in the year, moves on. which will soon mean an influx of Georgia man stories in the news. Got two pairs coming up, the Carolinas and the Virginias. They do it to face each other off. Unlike the Dakotas, they're both still in. Start with the Carolinas. South Carolina wins the Battle of Irrelevancy. Could just call it one big Carolina, but I'm not going to. It's very important to show that South Carolina is the dominant one in this relationship. And now on to the Virginias. Virginia, overwhelmingly more relevant. It's very nice to see Virginia united once again under some new management. Delaware, a lot less relevant than Maryland. It's a 4-to-1 ratio. I'm gonna zoom in just because how tiny Delaware is. Probably to use a brush instead of the rubber. That's what we call an eraser here in Ireland. Get your mind out of the gutter. Get a big ass arrow here. This is Delaware. Ohio and Pennsylvania. Say with certainty, no matter who wins, they're going to lose in round 2. Oh, it's very close. Pennsylvania barely edges out in irrelevancy. New York against New Jersey. I think that's a pretty obvious winner, but it's not going to be a fun time either way. Oh, it is closer. Oh my god, New York won. Maybe Pennsylvania will survive after all. Depends who they're up against in round 2. Connecticut against Rhode Island. Pretty clear Rhode Island wins that one. Yeah, we'll get another big ass arrow for this one. Now we have Vermont against Massachusetts. Vermont wins out in this case. Who will become the Queen of New England. And now we have New Hampshire against Maine. The last match of round 1. Ooh, another very close one, but New Hampshire barely edges out. Maine and Massachusetts will be united pretty soon, but under new management. So yeah, here are the 25 states that survived round 1. We're going to start on the East Coast this time. We have New Hampshire, which includes Maine, Vermont, which includes Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, which includes Connecticut. Okay, who is the winner? The winner of Irrelevancy is Vermont. Though strangely, Vermont did manage to get a few states. While Rhode Island... I think Rhode Island only got itself. So yeah, Vermont, the new Queen of New England. Royale fit. Yeah, fits very nicely in there. Next up we have New York against Pennsylvania. Oh, New York survives again. They're a lot less relevant than I thought they were. Next up we have Delaware against West Virginia. Delaware beats West Virginia out for relevancy. I mean, I could probably fit Delaware in there now, but I'm not going to. Next we have Kentucky against South Carolina. And Kentucky just wins out. Mississippi against Georgia. Mississippi, overwhelmingly more relevant. There's that huge peak that Georgia had start of the year. Yeah, Mississippi and Florida in one state. And now we have Wisconsin against Indiana. Another very close one, but Indiana barely edges out. So no more panhandle. Or is that a panhandle? Oh no, I don't think it is called a panhandle. I think it's just called like Northern Michigan. Now I have Oklahoma against Louisiana. Ooh, very close. Oh, both 53. Okay, how are we gonna sort this out? We just go to the Electoral College. Yeah, that's how we'll break our ties, with the Electoral College. So it looks like Oklahoma's cover everything around here. Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Ohio. Really everything inside it. Yeah, I think Louisiana got everything else over there. Oklahoma has beaten out Louisiana in terms of relevancy. So they're moving on. Now we have South Dakota against Kansas. South Dakota, overwhelmingly less relevant, becoming more and more southern as the rounds go by. Now we have North Dakota against Iowa. Will North Dakota join their South Dakotan brothers in round 3 of the Battle of Relevancy? Yes, they will. Now I have Oregon against Wyoming, but I think I know how that one's going to go down. But I mean, New York did beat New Jersey and Pennsylvania, so who knows? Yeah, no surprise, Wyoming wins that round. I think they might have a bit more trouble going up against their Dakotan brethren. Completing the contiguous US for round 2, we have Nevada against Utah. Can we just officially call it Deseret after that? Nevada wins out in irrelevancy over Utah. Yeah, so no Deseret this time. And the last match for round 2, we have New Mexico against Alaska. And Alaska wins out. We're down to the final 12 states in the Battle of Irrelevancy for the least amount of Google results. Now we move on to round 3, and we're going to start up here in the north. With North Dakota against Indiana. North Dakota overwhelmingly wins this round by a ratio of not quite 6-1, but definitely 5-1. Yeah, we'll get rid of this. There we go, ND. South Dakota join them. We will now find out. Quite yet, because we're going to move on to New York versus Vermont. Yeah, no contest. Vermont stretching all the way from Maine to Ohio, and maybe even beyond. Now we'll have Delaware against Kentucky. I'm surprised Kentucky got this far. Yeah, Delaware much more relevant than Kentucky. I'm gonna keep that big ass arrow, because why not? And if Delaware wins the whole thing, I'm still gonna keep it. Just need an arrow at the side to show that this is Delaware. Mississippi against Oklahoma. Oh, another very close one. But Mississippi wins out. There we go. Mississippi hasn't quite got all of the southern states yet, but they are on their way. Now we have South Dakota against Alaska. It's a close enough match, but South Dakota wins out. 2 Dakotas make it through again. And if I can help it, I can make sure that they don't compete against each other in the final 6 either. Both make the final 3 together, unless one of them is up against Wyoming. And the last match for this is round 3, right? Yeah, Wyoming wins again. A bit less relevant than Nevada. We're down to the final 6. Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, Mississippi, Delaware, and Vermont. We're going to have Vermont against Delaware, and Mississippi against South Dakota, and we'll go Wyoming against North Dakota. Now we'll find out our final 3. So first up, we will have Vermont against Delaware. Yeah, close enough, but Vermont wins and makes it through the final 3. Yeah, we'll remember you, big ass arrow. And now South Dakota against Mississippi. South Dakota, overwhelmingly less relevant. There we go, nice and big. S. D, South Dakota. And now we'll find out the last qualifier for the final 3, Wyoming against North Dakota. Yeah, North Dakota just beats out the least populated US state in irrelevancy. And you know what? Let's have a letter on each side. Let's have a big N over here, and a big over here. So we're down to our final 3, North Dakota versus South Dakota versus Vermont. Yeah, we'll have South Dakota against Vermont first. South Dakota just edges out. We'll rewrite SD one more time before North Dakota and South Dakota face off in being the least relevant of the United States. This is it. Just bask in this map for for just a moment before we ultimately find out who is the least relevant US state, North Dakota or South Dakota. North Dakota currently stretches all the way from California and Washington, all the way over to Michigan. South Dakota stretching all the way from Maine to Texas to Alaska and Hawaii. But one of them we're about to let go, and we won't be having any Dakota. We're not going to be compromising now. Haven't done so far. We're just going to have one big North Dakota or one big South Dakota. Okay, are you ready? Not sure I am. I'll probably add in a drum roll here. I really hope that doesn't make anyone deaf. I'm just drumming on my laptop. Okay, here we go. South Dakota against North Dakota. Who is the least relevant? North Dakota. Quite a bit. So this pesky face of Mount Rushmore. In only 3 states is North Dakota more relevant. South Dakota overwhelmingly for the rest of them. That is it. Game over. No more straight line borders. Because we are now living in one big... Oh, I have so much border to raise. Oh, down. We are living in one big North Dakota. Everyone bow down to Doug Burgum, the new president of what was once the United States. Do they have their own anthem? Oh, they do have one. Oh, okay. North Dakota, North Dakota, with thy prairies free. All thy sons and daughters love thee, fair state from sea to sea. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe.